My name's Daniel Bushell. Death and secrecy in the drug game coming up.
The real link from Columbine to Sandy Hook. A supermodel ruined. The proof antidepressants are a sham.
From the age of 10, docs pumped mind-altering meds into Adam Lanza. Pretty much every school shooter in the past decade was on prescription drugs. On antidepressants, kids are 10 times more likely to get violent. Suicides are even more widespread. Politicians forcing Farmageddon on Americans, and the mainstream media desperate to pop those pills.
They told me that I had taken a gun to my third period class and held them hostage.
We were told that if we did not follow up with their evaluation of ADHD and take him to the pediatrician and get him on Ritalin, that Child Protective Services could charge us for educational and emotional neglect.
At age 13, while riding his skateboard, he suddenly keeled over and was dead. The county medical examiner said there was no doubt in that case that the chronic administration of the Ritalin was the cause of death.
Ritalin is, for the purposes of classification by the Drug Enforcement Administration, is a Schedule II drug on the same list as cocaine.
We're trying to solve a problem in the schools by putting our children on kiddie cocaine.
Beth Winter killed herself just 9 days after being prescribed antidepressants like Paxil. She was a normal girl having trouble sleeping.
It just wasn't her. There was nothing in her that would have done that.
And thousands of such deaths are being masked by Big Pharma.
Reputation of drug companies is abysmal. It actually matches that of tobacco companies. As with Vioxx, we could have known years ago, before many people died.
The makers of best-selling antipsychotics Paxil, Prozac and Effexor have been forced for the first time to reveal their shocking research by Irving Kirsch. Thanks for joining us. What were the results?
Half of the data that had been collected by the drug companies had never been published. They had kept it hidden. So they knew about it. The Food and Drug Administration knew about it. We use a law called the Freedom of Information Act, and we compelled the FDA to send us copies of the data that did not show a benefit of the drug over placebo.
Okay, they hid proof that they're useless, but did they know their pills are actually deadly? 2/3
to 3/4 of the people taking them can lose their ability to engage in sex the way they usually do. There's an increased risk of stroke. There's an increased risk of death from all causes in young people, and children and adults up to the age of 24. There's an increased risk of suicidality. In women who are pregnant, there's an increased risk of miscarriage. And when they have babies, there's an increased risk of malformations of the child, of autism, of other serious disorders.
Suicide and malformations mainstream media won't report because for every dollar drug firms spend on research, they hand out 19 times more to media on commercials. Like this advertising, Big Pharma shells an astonishing $100 billion on ads to brainwash you into buying. Top spender is Pfizer with this notorious antidepressant Zoloft. Mainstream media gratefully pockets the fortune, and who cares about the viewers?
The Eli Lilly Corporation, a pharmaceutical company, for nearly 15 years covered up their own internal investigation that showed that anyone on Prozac is 12 times more likely to attempt suicide than those using other antidepressants, not 12 times more than the average population, 12 times more than those already on other antidepressants. This is a criminal act, and I want to know why these criminals are still walking the streets.
The public is swallowing the lies like a dream. The top 3 antidepressants bring in $25,000 a minute.
In the most recent campaigns of the last year or so, you're hearing so much, ask your doctor or talk to your doctor about. And when you hear that on the screen, it sounds so nice.
Ask your doctor about Effexor. Ask your doctor about Cymbalta.
Talk to your doctor about Zoloft.
So talk to your healthcare professional.
Your doctor today.
Tell your doctor.
Contact your doctor immediately.
Talk with your doctor.
What the studies have shown is if you actually bring up a brand name drug with your doctor by name, you're significantly more likely to walk out the door with that drug. So they do that for a reason. The industry is responsible to Wall Street, and Wall Street first. They have to please Wall Street.
But the fact that they don't works to the advantage of the drug companies and the psychiatrists, which means that you're not cured, which means that you're a patient for life, you're a customer, you're a client for life. And the worse your health gets, the more drugs you need. It's a great deal for them.
Supermodel Paulina Pariskova had everything going for her. She was only the second girl to cover Sports Illustrated's swimsuit edition 2 years straight. Then her doc prescribed, quote, crippling antidepressants. She shouldn't have been allowed on America's Next Top Model, as the drugs made her unstable. But the program boss pitied her because she was also on the same medication. In fact, Pariskova finds all her friends are on antipsychotics, which she says give you the self-awareness of a slug and kill your sex life. Americans are currently the largest guinea pig trial in history. Mind-altering drugs are tested just 4 weeks. Their long-term effects are being evaluated on unsuspecting citizens who think their drugs have been checked.
Then we see who dies, who has seizures, who has deformed children, who has epilepsy, who has diseases downstream, whose heart stops.
The public is the clinical trial.
No drug has side effects. They're all effects.
This is a very dangerous industry that has gone so far overboard in inventing fictitious diseases and drugging our children and our population that I consider it to be engaged in crimes against humanity.
But why are the people we depend on, our doctors, telling us on mainstream media to pop pills?
Doctors, and again, have become accustomed and entitled to accept all sorts of gifts, from smallest to the largest, and certainly to the public, seeing doctors being jetted off to the Caribbean for a weekend with the drug company paying does not make the profession look very good.
Andrew Oswald joins us. He's the pioneer in the field of happiness research with hundreds of studies. What formulas actually work?
There's a strong correlation between eating lots of fruit and vegetables and having good mental health. How it works, we don't know, but the pattern is strongly in the data.
That diet's a key reason why villagers in Campodamelli, Italy live 17 years longer than average Americans. Tracy Lawson lived in the village. What's the secret?
The Campomelani eat the cucina povera, which literally translates as the poor kitchen. And it's called that because it wasn't rich in meat and they couldn't afford to eat meat. And of course that has turned out to be a huge benefit.
Yeah, which parts of the lifestyle can Americans or Brits take back with them?
In A Year in the Village of Eternity, I hope that I've shown people that they can take huge lessons and actually transport an awful lot of the lifestyle of Campodamelli to their homes, even if you live in the centre of a big city. If you're lucky, you might have a little bit of space to grow vegetables in pots. You know, things like potatoes and onions, you know, they pretty much grow themselves. They just need a little bit of water. And if you can't do that, if you can afford to, if you can buy organic vegetables and avoid overloading your system with the chemicals which are commonly used in mass agricultural production.
Such common sense is out the question today in the States, where kids are the new drug target. Alea was seized from school and force-fed a cocktail of 22 drugs after a 10-minute computer class test called Teen Screen.
When I saw for myself what they were giving her and how much and how often, I just thought, they're going to kill this child. And the parents were helpless.
So it presents itself as being a wonderful, altruistic program, whereas in fact, I believe its cold-blooded and cold-hearted intent is to recruit more children into the very subjective diagnoses of mental illness and to treat those kids with medication.
No regime in the history of this world has ever tried such a deadly mass drug experiment on its own people. The full effects will be seen on today's children in 50 years' time, when our current leaders aren't around to face consequences. Seek truth from facts. This is The Truth Seeker.